Hey, what's going on, everybody? Just gonna paint and hang out for a while. Get closer to finishing this one. It's basically like, I'm thinking it's like a mana font, or sort of like a well in this little forest area, overlooking some epic giant pillar mountains. It was an improv painting. I didn't know where I was going when I started it, so. But here's where I am so far. Got some work to do in this area and on the left side of the tree, and probably calling it there. Excited to move on. I actually painted this one in acrylic and really enjoyed it. I started on acrylic, painted on acrylic for many years before I started trying out gouache and watercolor, but it's like riding a bike. It's my favorite one, I'd say, still. Low key. You have to try and explore other ones, but these I guess what I'm it's like you go on these journeys with other mediums and they teach you so much, and coming back to a medium before that, almost there's so many things I can imply that sort of transcend the mediums. There's certain ways you're spoiled with gouache that you're not with acrylic, vice versa, watercolor. And those kind of rub off on each other in different ways. Just find that interesting. Hey, how's it going, Steph? One thing I didn't miss about acrylic, though, was how it's hard to get the camera on it just right so that it doesn't shine. Ideally, see, like, this is actually on a table. Hey, thank you so much for subscribing, Nick. Just appreciate you. Good to see you here. It's basically like this would be how I want the painting facing me. But it's on a table like this so the camera can film it. So even I experience some glare. I actually have to lean down on the side sometimes and get up over it. I've been basically, my palette is like, when I'm done with it, basically I found a way to keep my acrylics wet the whole time I paint, and when I'm done I just flatten them out on this palette and then paint over it white, and it's a new palette. No more cleaning. You have to make sure that they're flat, but works for me. Oops. Sorry, 1 second, fixing something with the music here. Just seeing if it sounds okay on my end. Testing, testing. Testing, test, test. Sorry, 1 second, fixing something with the music here. Just seeing if it sounds okay on my end. Testing, testing. Testing, test, test. Mic sounds a bit bad. To be fair, my mic is very outdated. Very outdated. We're not sure on that yet. It's still up in the air. So let's see. I think I'm gonna touch up this area first. Then move into the dirt here. I want the dirt to come up onto this a little bit, and then this thing needs a little bit more work, I think. But mainly I want it to be kind of in a shaded area of the forest so that this thing glows brighter. I have such terrible lighting in my studio though. I still can't figure that out. It's hard to get those glares off. Never looks like it does in person. I'll probably revamp the way it's set up after this session. This is kind of how I lay out my colors to get all the colors. I do my 3 different yellows. 3 different blues and my 3 different reds. Or 4 different reds in this case, just because of this brand. Divides it one more time, but it's really just 3. Just trying out these basic like Liquitech Basics. I've had them laying around for a while. Just want to see how they did. They're alright. I wouldn't say they're too much worse than the expensive stuff, to be honest. I mean, I guess it could be a case of, you know, it's like it's the guitarist, not the guitar, you know, but still it's... What short brush I want to use here? Yeah, I do 3 variations of each primary. I don't use any in between colors unless I'm like trying to have fun with it. And then I do my black, white, and gray here. I find gray to be very useful in a lot of cases. It sort of like helps you skip a step to certain colors. But I mainly like mixing from the different primaries versus having mixed colors, but it's worth experimenting with all of it. And I'll have to end up using that paint anyway. So make a couple of greens here. Make a brilliant one. Like, for example, I don't want them to be that saturated. I can take a little bit of gray. Tone it down a little bit. It's basically like, the way I think of gray is like it's like you can grab black and white at the same time. Is more how I think of it. Spray my palette. Basically, you just gotta remember to spray your palette every 5 to 10 minutes. Not with too much. And you can keep them wet the whole time you paint. They do sell wet palettes. I'm just fed up with cleaning. Just turn this whole pile into a green here. Thing is, it's not going to be this bright. Just need some variations of green. Give it another spray. And then grab some of my straight up cadmium red here. And I'll make some red greens off to the side. It's good to have a few sap greens. You can use the magenta to skip it. It's basically like you can think of magenta as grabbing blue and red at the same time. And it's good for like mixing right to a shadow color of green with the blue diffuse light in it. Each color is a different ratio of 2 other colors. And that's how I know like which one's gonna sway. The magentas and the blue or reds. Blue and red, and then you have the more orangey reds, and those are yellow red. Hey, what's going on, Dad? Good to see you. Hey, brother. How you been, man? How you been? I'm doing like a mana font in the forest here. Like if you were a mage and you found this, you just restore your mana to 100%. Just at the tedious part with the plants. You got at painting from the first streams I used to watch. You got at paintings. You mean to say good? If so, thank you. No, I assume that's what you said. It's been a long journey. What are we on? I feel like I've been streaming for 4 years. Yes? Thanks. I appreciate it, man. I would hope I've improved. I'm trying to get to the level of my dreams. Really trying to get better at lighting and shapes. Some days I feel like I suck. And some days I feel better than others. I think one thing that I notice, at least in my own experience, is like when it comes to like finding colors and mixing paint, it's like I'm not thinking about it much anymore. Kind of just happens naturally. I guess my typing skills never got good. Nah, bro, you're way better at typing since I started streaming, bro. Crazy improvement. My paints are drying faster today. Or maybe I'm just forgetting to spray water often enough. I have so many chores to do right now, but I couldn't resist painting for a while. I'm just really having fun lately, and I've learned to cherish and appreciate those times of inspiration, because they're not always around. I kind of think of inspiration differently now. It's more like a gift. Of course you can force it, and there's ways to keep yourself inspired and motivated, increase it. But when you get that nice and natural wave of it, that comes all on its own, not, I advise you to not ignore it. I feel like we all do. Maybe not all of us. Maybe some of us get dumber. No, I think just being alive longer in life in general. Teaches you things, you know? You get used to the simulation. It's not quite as brown as I wanted it to be. I'm gonna have to get some more yellow out of the tube here. And you don't have black though. The other way you can make brown is, so you take this blue, you make a little green with it, and then you mix the red into that green. I didn't have enough yellow. There we go, it's just starting to change, but take more green in there. There it is, gives you like a dull umber, which is kind of what I want, but I want it to be a little bit blue. Shadow wood, we can call it, literally. But I'm gonna grab this cobalt blue, I guess we could call it. It's a little more gentle. Let's see what this does for us. Gentle is in like, some colors don't change the color of other things as much. So you're looking for a subtle little change, it's good to pick those colors. It's easy to spin your wheels when you're paint mixing. Okay, I think I want to bring a little more light to these leaves now, being near this mana thing, mana font. I have to get some more of my cerulean out. So basically I've been using kind of cobalt blue. And some cerulean. Some white. Slightest, tiniest hint of yellow. Almost so you can't even see it, but it brings it a little bit more towards, what do you want to call it, like that turquoise color. But I don't want it too turquoise, I want it more icy. Brother, where do you work at? Have you made your art primary source of your cash yet? All I know is that being an artist is tricky. No, I haven't made it a primary source of my cash yet. It's something I'm so passionate about that I want to do it every day anyway. But I have made lots of money with it over the years, and I've had my successes and my failures, and it can pay the bill sometimes. But no, I haven't made it to a sustained state of it yet. So basically what I do is what I've done for the last year is I do delivery driving and I do Uber. Drive people around for money on the side. And then when I'm home, I try to paint as much as I can and keep up with my channel. But a lot of the times, life will take me away. So today, well, the last week I've had a paint job. I also paint houses. And today it rained, and I have an exterior job going on. But when you're doing an exterior job and it rains, you can't go do it, so you get a day off. And basically a day off to me is an opportunity to sit down and do some art. Getting happier with my little mana font here. I think maybe it can just get a little bit brighter. Very gently. Get some more white. I'm going to use the high quality white. So here's a subtle difference I've noticed with this Liquitex stuff. The white is so much more powerful. Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm not gonna ever give up my dream. You know, I don't care if it takes till I'm dead. Like I said, the baseline goal for me is to be the best painter I can be. Like basically, I want to be able to think of a world like this and make it come to life. That makes me the happiest. I'll figure out money secondary to that. However, it also is a main goal to figure out how to pay for my life with this. Like for example, this year I've made a big change to pushing a lot harder into getting into more art shows. So I've had like an art show a month, or like 1 to 2 art shows a month. I have one coming up next weekend. So trying to like produce art for those, and those are good to have scheduled because they can really light a fire under your ass. But it's tricky, you know. You're right. Like the rumors are true. Like you don't, unless you like go to college and go straight for one of those like game develop like concept artist jobs or something like that. If you're just trying to make it as an artist freelance, it's really tricky. And even then, those jobs are very locked up. They're hard to get into. So you could say both are tricky. I don't want to grab too much of that green. My palette keeps like tilting here. I have to move it over. I'm sorry. Because you gotta think of the order of events, right? It starts with being a kid. And you become obsessed with this thing. and then you become so obsessed with it that you don't want to stop doing it, so then you're forced to figure out how to make money with it. And then that sort of just slowly fades into becoming an adult and being like, well, yeah, that's my art career, you know? But really, it's just you're forced to figure out how to make money with it because you love doing it so much. And to me, it's almost like a little bit of a curse to it. Like, ideally, if I could just get rich off something else and not have to worry about making money off art, like detach the money part from the art and just like retire and just paint all day, like that would be the dream. It's also a dream to be able to make money off of it, so I have to do it all the time. But often enough, when you're forced to paint things you don't want to paint or do in art because of money, that can actually be a distasteful experience as well. But ideally, you know, it's the order of how it happened. And ideally, I'd want to just do it all the time for fun and just explore worlds. Speaking of worlds, this painting's coming to a close soon, so we need to vote as a little community here about what we want to paint next. Bro, I hope you'll just keep being happy with your passion. Yeah, man. If I'm painting, I'm happy. If you see me painting here, that's pretty much the happiest I can be in life. Like if I get in a little spell and I'm not painting for multiple days in a row or weeks, it'll get to me. I'll actually get depressed because of it if I don't do art. I know that sounds a bit extreme, but if you know, you know. Not like full on depression, that's not what I mean. It's just like something starts grinding on me. And then when I finally sit down to draw it, I feel better. When I picture a mana font, it's sort of like alive, but it's not, you know? It's like magical essence. A soup of magical essence. So it's sort of like teeming with energy. So I'm trying to get that to come across correctly here. And there's many ways to do that. This is sort of what I was picturing. This little wispy, steamy looking currents coming out of it. With also like, I don't know, you want to call them little orbs. Hey, Kay, what's going on? Good to see you here. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Going for like a Magicka font, a mana font. So if you were like a mage in a video game, I know you'd get this, Kay, because you play World of Warcraft and Elder Scrolls now, so you're hip. But basically, it's like you could restore your mana if you found this, you know? Adventurers walking down the path. Restore your mana, head back out to killing your monsters. Call it a day. How about an island that is shaped like a giant skull? The eye sockets could be lakes, the teeth are like cliffside beach, and the forehead a hill with the forest and those entrance to cave. That's a really cool idea, Dad. I like that a lot. That's kind of... We're gonna put that in the Discord right now. Gotta load it up. Kate gets it. Yay. Alright. Let's see. Prompt list ideas. Gotta copy and paste what you said, Dad. That's awesome. So, an island change like there. That's the whole prompt. I gotta give you credit. So I remember you said it. And remember, guys, on the Discord, any ideas you want to do next for the painting, just throw in here. I know I've kind of been on a rogue. I've been rogue lately, just painting whatever I want. We haven't done a prompt in a while, but I'm feeling it again soon. I love the art in Elder Scrolls and WoW. I am a monk in WoW. Hell yeah, a monk's one of my favorite classes. But me too. I mean, I grew up since I was a kid on the artists that did like Elder Scrolls and Warcraft. And I mean, basically you're looking at the culmination of my inspiration right here, like painting things like this. I've worked my entire life to just want to paint cool fantasy environments accurately. I mean, like, that's what I love painting the most. If I could just be a background artist for like anything, it would be great. That'd be my dream. Like, not have to do any characters. I don't get me wrong, I enjoy doing characters and animals and creatures and stuff. They're a bit more difficult. It slows me down a little bit, but I'm definitely like well versed in environments. Like I would like to just like do that as my strength. And slowly improve it, creatures and characters on the side. Gotta get back to fixing up my foliage over here. At this point in the painting, there's a lot of hopping around. Actually, no, I lied. I'm not getting back to the foliage. Do the highlights on these flowers. And then I gotta fix some... I was basically, when I was doing this effect here, I masked everything by like laying these little papers, and I oversprayed on the tree. So I gotta fix that. It's all good though. I don't play those games for the characters and creatures. I play for the landscapes. They're amazing. Yeah, they do a great job in those games. I see how they influenced your art. Every chain I run by, I go back and look at the light effects. Yeah. Yeah, they do an amazing job with the environments, and particularly those two universes. So, whatever artists they hired. Amen. Amen to that style. Over exaggerate how bright this is. See, that's how it should look. See when I have my hand shadow over it there, how much clearer it is. When the glare of the paint comes back, it's not so. Trying to find the perfect position of that light. Oh, it's my hand shadow. It's annoying, man. It's almost like better with it off, but it's like it's a little too dim. I'm gonna turn it away. That's a little better. That's a little better. The misty fog on the tree looks like a magical breeze. Yeah, so that's like, I don't know what you want to call it, like a misty thing coming out of here. Trying to make it seem like teeming, almost like boiling, but not actually boiling, if that makes sense. Teeming. Oh, what happened to our music? There we go. Really quick, I have to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. When nature calls, nature calls. I'm nearing the end of this painting here. If I had to critique myself, I shouldn't have put this nice focal point of light too close to this focal point. If anything, I should have chosen between this sunny spot and the well, but I'm happy with it for the most part. I don't want to brighten up anything over here. But I do want to fix up some of this overspray over here. Then we can varnish it, which is a satisfying. I've actually already painted the edges black, which I'll have to fix again. So we'll be able to do that too. I have these tiny canvases I want to do a little bit of too. I have to hop off stream after this painting and do some chores, but I want to stream again later, so I'll be back on probably. I've been in another, like, I'm obsessed with painting every day phase again. I mean, I'm always obsessed with painting. I have my streaks, though. I saw the creatures in that intermission piece that make sound. Haha, yes. The Betty Netch. And or the Netch, I should say. Out inside of a Gothic cathedral or ancient temple with a dragon guarding the treasure relics, with bright sunlight coming into the stained glass windows. That's crazy. That's a crazy idea. Very involved. I'll be painting that one for a long time. However, it's epic. We'll add it into the prompt lists here. Yes, the Netch. Watch out for the bull Netch, they're aggressive. No. I had to get my cat off the desk. She likes jumping on the computer. Let's see, put that in there. Goblin Knight, I just seeing this now. Goblin Knight Rave with bone instruments debuting at a local tavern. That's even more involved, I'd say, Mew. See, the thing is, the reason those ideas are so involved, at least for me, is because I can't, like, half-ass an idea like that, you know? I have to go all out on, like, all the expressions and make sure they look right, and that's, you know, drawing all the goblins in different positions. I love the idea, it's amazing. I have to find a way to fall in love with that idea for 50 hours, because that's how long that painting will take. It'd be a masterpiece. Classical style masterpiece, except of, like, instead of a bunch of naked people in hell, it's like a bunch of goblins dancing in a bar. Equal complexity. I don't even know if Mew's on the stream. I like the light hitting the flowers from the mana font better now. I want to get that on the leaves. Do you know anyone who plays WoW? Friends of mine are trying to make an orc horde of 5. Do you know anyone? Are you playing retail WoW, like base version, or are you playing classic WoW? They want to play replay, I play both. Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I play WoW. I'm a shaman. Level 80 shaman, he's my main. That's all I play. And then my buddies play. But they're not on as often as I am. I'm usually on late though. I usually only play like 11 to 1 in the morning. 10 to 1 in the morning is 2 in the morning is around when I play. Try to hold myself off till around then. But yeah, I play. I'm not really interested in like starting a character from level 1, but like I would totally. What's cool about retail is they scale down. So like if you're level 80 and you want to play with buddies that like aren't level 80 yet, like I can join your party, and basically they scale my stats down so that I match yours, basically. They want to play early Saturdays. Gotcha. It's funny they want to be orc purists. Wow, y'all are racist, huh? I'm just kidding. You guys are orc supremacists. I prefer late at night too. So I'd rather work on this stuff during the day, you know. As long as you're a horde associated, they don't care. It's just that we made funny names, Stork and Sport. Yeah, I get it. You have to be like that in the game. That's the whole fun of it. Not the right brush for that. I would rather you use daylight for painting than gaming. Me too. darkening up some ambient occlusion over here. Make the cavities that happen underneath all the plants and let's try to stay mindful of keeping my value range and contrast intact. It's something I'm still trying to be better with, and that I'm far from mastering. Something I'll be trying to do well for my whole life. Basically, you can create contrast where it's dark. You have to stay within that value range. Now I'm going to add a little bit of gray here. Here's a good example for wanting to desaturate something without lightening it too much with the white. Now I just have a more gray version of this green over here. Have that purple flower petal pop a little bit more there. It's not a certain kind of flower, I made it up. Gray it out a little more. And in this case I'm going to add a little bit of what I would call Prussian blue. It's not Prussian blue, it's they're just calling it primary blue. The cheaper paint sets don't go as accurate with their paint names. There we go. And when this dries, it'll lighten up just ever so slightly. That's something to always keep in mind when you're doing acrylic paints. And the opposite goes for lighter colors. They'll be a little bit darker. And now you can see it's subtle, but this shadow desaturates as it goes out, and I'm going to keep doing that. You can grab a little more gray. There's so many ways to desaturate. I'm choosing to be more neutral in this painting for an effect. But for example, I could have thrown a little red in there instead. Or a certain type of magenta. And that would have dulled it out for me, but kept it more saturated. There's all sorts of ways you can move through color. It's not dark enough. Ran out of black here. I'm just gonna have to get more. Dropped my paintbrush there. One more level dark. But not overdo it. And I'm purposely being vague over here about the shapes of things and stuff. I don't want your eyes looking over here, really. Focal point is this area, this oval. Sunbeams intended to bring you back to the mana well, and then the tree is intended to bring you up the tree over into the branches and back to the sunbeam, which then brings you back to the mana well. And that's something they teach you in composition, is you want a closed loop, a closed visual loop somehow that leads the viewer through your painting over and over and over again. And that's another, I guess, again, something I would consider more advanced, that like is easy to understand but it's harder to be disciplined about thinking about all the time and making sure that you're doing something to amplify that. And I haven't done that until recently, really, in my life. Like, really start trying to add that into my painting. Like, that's not something you want to tell somebody, but like secretly you can put all these different dimensions in a painting that affect people. And composition is a whole area you can study. It's its own animal. Alright, I'm gonna make some wood color here. Pretty happy with this painting overall right now. And it'll be fun to varnish because it'll really bring the colors out and make a lot of this flashing more even. Because remember, this is actually a gouache painting, to fill you guys in. I started this in gouache to see how gouache would do on canvas. Did horribly. It started cracking right when I got to this tree. So I aborted, I went outside, I sealed, I varnished it, and then I painted over it all again in acrylic, the whole thing. So I just kind of used my old gouache painting as a guide. And I gotta admit, that was the first time I've ever really done that before. Specifically, like, repainted over a painting that was already like 3/4 of the way done. It was very interesting to try to refine all the colors. And of course they came out slightly different because I'm using a different product, different hues, different pigments. But the vibe I was able to get again, and I think it's almost like a practice routine I would recommend that I wouldn't have thought of before, is to like repaint over your painting, as crazy as that sounds. It comes out better the second time. like paint the same painting that you just did over over the top of it, but do the things that you learned from. You know what I mean? It's like I could like repaint this again, and it would probably come out even better again. But I'm overall happy with it. Like I changed a lot on the second pass. And I'm just trying to make sure it reads well. Want it to make sense to the viewer. I've always struggled with being too busy in my paintings, which made it hard for people to know what I wanted them to look at. I'm just gonna completely absorb this pile of red here. Grab this yellow, which isn't the ideal type of yellow for this brown, but it's okay. I'm gonna be graying it out a lot. There we go. Grab some of my white. I don't mind that it's actually hitting some of the green on my palette, because there's a lot of green diffuse light bouncing around in the forest. So there actually will be a lot of green color in this wood in real life. But I don't want to use this brush for it. I think my favorite brushes to paint with are just, what do you call them? I forgot what they're called. I guess, yeah, flat brushes. Just these. Assortment of different sizes of these, and I feel like I can get most of everything in the universe done with one of these. There's certain things that get a little more annoying to do, like grass blades, I'd say. Smooth looking grass blades. That's probably where the round brush comes out. Or like tree branches. That's what a round brush is good for. So there's a high chance here I end up changing the color of this tree a little bit, but I'm not too concerned about it. Let me put a little mark here. Okay, that's not bad. It's a little lighter, but it's fine. I don't mind some light hitting the side of the branch here. A little more dimension. The goal is to get rid of these white dots, basically. And then all I gotta do is just match. That obviously wasn't dark enough. I know there's a glare for you guys on the camera, I'm sorry. I've changed the position of the light like 900 times, I just can't get it to be quite right. And I'm not gonna bother repainting all the tree. I'm just trying to go around and hit these little white dots. Cover them up. And you see, like, I could have been done already, but one little mistake like that, start spinning your wheels. Grab some of these dark greens. Toss them back here. Can't hurt. Believe it or not, I have to deal with the glare too. Just in a different angle. Get some ambient occlusion going on back here. Not go into that blue glowy mist too much. Just for touches. Where we know the light isn't getting well. Weirdly enough, knowing a bit about science, the science of light, rather, helped me draw it. Draw what you know is definitely a very helpful tool. And basically, particularly how light bounces and tends to spread through a room or an environment. Knowing how it bounces is very useful. And it's way easier to visually explain. But the best way to think about it is in single rays. So basically, you have a ray of light coming in. It hits something. And then imagine it exploding into a billion other tiny arrows that shoot out in perfectly straight lines in a sphere from that point of impact. So you think you have the light shooting in, it hits the surface, and it blows up in a ball that shoots hundreds of other rays of light out in a perfect sphere array. And then those travel out much weaker than the first beam and hit everything around that ball. And then every single tiny ray of light that came off that explodes into their little tiny balls, and that happens over and over until the light becomes diffuse, they call it. Which means it's so spread out that you can't really, it becomes very soft, basically. And from studying it and thinking about it, it really bounces at the most 2 to 4 times before it becomes negligible. Like, you can't tell the differences. It becomes too subtle to care when it comes to like trying to get an effect across in a drawing. And so you think a ray of light comes in, and this ray of light hits right here, right into these flowers. A ball of light explodes and shoots some into this little dark area behind this tree. Blows up into 100 tiny more balls, and then some of that light just doesn't quite make it into these little cavities. I don't know if that made a lick of sense, but that helped me a lot. And that's where all the core shadow stuff comes from. The reflective light, like, you know, the classic drawing exercise where you have to draw a sphere on a table, shade it correctly. And how the common mistake is that the darkest part is on the bottom, but it really isn't, because there's a lot of light bouncing off the table and lighting up the bottom of the sphere. So really the darkest part of the sphere is in the center of it, roughly. Not really in the center, more to the center bottom, lower half. Obviously it'll move depending on where you shine the light on the ball, but that's the basics. And then it just becomes a challenge of imagining, you know, the more realistic you want to get. You know, you gotta think like leaves. Every single leaf on a tree is in a different direction, so they're not gonna all get hit in the same way. And it goes on from there. But I think that's the beauty of it, is if you understand the simple principle behind it, it sort of it just cascades from there. Getting pretty happy. I'm gonna sign it just to see how it feels. First I have to make a few lighter wood colors, toss them in, cover up some of these dots. I'm not sure I like that. Gonna have to gray it out a little bit more, I think. Grab a little more white over here. Also, the way I've been resetting my palette's kind of fun, I'm not gonna lie. I've enjoyed that. Just get to smear all the colors everywhere. I had to repaint my sky like 5 times, by the way, by like accidentally spraying stuff on it. Learn how to get that color right, that's for sure. I guess that goes to say, you know, don't be afraid to have to keep repainting something. Don't let it annoy you. Because in the long run, you're actually just practicing really good fundamentals. If you have to mix the same color 3, 4, 5 times, you know, that's gonna really level you up. It's gonna get you some XP for WoW terms for Kate. Hey guys, I gotta take a phone call really quick. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. Appreciate your patience. Alright. I actually don't mind these specks over here. To me, they're sort of like the dust in the forest that's floating around, the pollen, if that makes sense. Alright, let me get my, well, I don't really have a designated one, like a signature brush. Oh. She fell over. Sorry about that mic noise. Sorry about that. Yeah. Change my mind on that one quick. By the way, with acrylics, you can just add water. Boom. Ain't that the best? That's how durable they are. Of course, as long as the layer underneath is dry. That's the exception. The brush I picked didn't hold enough paint. And I wanted to make it smaller. Let's do this one here. I always hate putting a signature right over it, to be honest. I feel like it takes away from the vibe, but you gotta. It's part of it. There you go. Yay! We finished another one, guys. I think though what I could do, I always see a few touch-ups before I'm finalizing here. Right here, some of these. A little bit of blue light hitting these plants. Oh shit, I haven't been recording. Damn. Well, it was only like 10 minutes. Usually the time lapse goes so fast. This one was fun. Alright, I'm gonna do the hair dryer on it for a second here. Yeah, we can paint the edges too. You guys always look at it at a little bit of an angle too. Straight on. So what's funny is like y'all actually get a little bit off of a perspective sometimes. You can see the well looks more correct when I do that. And it looks more like awkward and stretched away. When I put it down. So, get a little black paint here. I gotta remind myself that these paint tubes do that. They get these air bubbles, and then they like spurt out a bunch of paint. And I've sprayed my painting a couple times with it. This is just like a preference. I just like how it looks when the edges of the canvas is black. I like to thin it out a little bit so I can cut that nice line. And where I stopped the line is the canvas has this. The canvas frame has this little bevel to it that starts, and I cut it right up to that point. I know I'm not giving you the optimal viewing experience of it, sorry. I just can't get the camera. There we go. I remember once upon a time filming the process was never really a part of it. Living in the age of everyone wanting to upload everything they do has been interesting. But it became an episode of You Can't Beat Him, Join Him. This edge is pretty good already. Just give it a quick thin coat. I don't need to cut the line again. So I can just go right up to it. Little secret, there you go. Little nugget for you if you're painting your house. And you've already done the second coat. Or the first coat, I mean. And you've done all that work to cut the line often enough, you don't need to cut the line again. Unless it's clearly not covered, then you do. This side's more than good. Alright. That's good. Dry them up with the hairdryer now. is just to protect it on the desk. I know it's excessive, but I like to paint the back black too. It's satisfying to do. It's worth knowing how to paint with both hands. Pays off in situations like this. And I didn't learn that from drawing, believe it or not. That came from having to paint houses. It's very beneficial to be able to use a paintbrush in both hands, because there's so many times you'll find yourself in an awkward position up on a ladder or something, where it's just so much easier to reach with another hand, and arguably safer in a lot of cases. Alright, time to clean the palette now. Well, really happy with how this came out. That was a fun one. think it just needs a few touch-ups here. It's good to go. Would have bothered me. I had to fix the edge there. Good enough for me. No, it doesn't have those white spots up top, and then I'll dry that up and repaint the black edge. It's been a while since I've done a canvas painting with acrylic. Really enjoyed it. I think it's just because I'm so used to them. I was just so comfortable the whole time. When I'm dealing with gouache and watercolor, I feel I'm still I realize I'm still battling the medium. To where it's like, acrylic, oh, I want it that, I just know exactly what to do. Gouache is catching up, for sure. Alright, let's do the weird palette fun part. Hope you guys enjoyed it, by the way. I wish there wasn't so much glare. Because you can see, like, that's not how it looks. Like, that's how it should look to you. Not like angle-wise, but no glare-wise. Like, see how much more true the colors are? And as I come back and the glare takes over, but this has been the bane of my existence, trying to film myself painting for y'all for like years. Move that out of the way for a minute. Put that on my paint rack. I have a drying rack up here. I have another drying rack I need to put together. Oh. Running out of art storage space. So I basically just take my palette, and the goal is to spraying some water on it. Is to use most of it, like plan your paint so that you use most of all of it. Like that, got a little bit dry there. Sometimes you can catch acrylic just in the nick of time. You can almost reactivate it. I also like doing this, it like gives me a chance to like play with how paint blends, and that's good to learn about. You don't want to be taking everything you do with a paintbrush too seriously, because then you never play around. And playing around is where you learn about the fun things. And then I basically let that dry, and then I paint a lighter color over it, and fresh palette. Thing probably has 8 layers of paint on it now. Had a little red hidden under there. Dry it up. Well, anyway, that's just it. Then I dry this out, and I'm not gonna make you sit through all that. But thanks for watching today. Finished another one. Wonder what we'll paint next. Keep tossing ideas in the prompt list. And like this stream if you're watching on YouTube. Subscribe. Working our way up to 1,000 subscribers, almost there. And yeah, looking forward to hanging out next time. I have to travel a little bit next week, so I won't be able to stream as much. I'll miss y'all, but I will be painting abroad as much as I can and uploading that. I'm actually pretty excited. I like when I get to bring my easel out into the world and paint some places in person. But y'all have a wonderful night. See you, Steph. See you, Kate. Thank you so much for watching. And see you next time.